Matthew McConaughey is one of Hollywood's rare originals. From the haunted brilliance of Rust Cohle in True Detective to the stubborn hope of Joseph Cooper in Interstellar, and the forever-quoted Wooderson who's drawled, "All right, all right, all right," took on a life of its own. He's a star who changed the temperature of every scene he entered. He came out of Uvalde, Texas with grit, faith, and a refusal to quit, climbed to the Academy Award, and became a cross-generational favorite. But the smile and swagger hid real scars. The applause was loud. The storms were louder. At 55, he still walks with both the light and the shadows. Matthew David McConaughey was born November 4th, 1969, the youngest of three boys, Michael, rooster, up at dawn no matter when he went to bed, and Patrick, adopted into the family. His mother, Mary Kathleen, taught kindergarten with a sharp wit. His father, James Donald Jim, a one-time football hopeful, kept food on the table through the oil pipe business. Money was tight, tempers hotter. His parents divorced twice and married each other 3 times. A home where the kitchen could be a battlefield, and then, minutes later, a peace treaty signed with a fierce embrace. They fought hard, but they loved hard, Matthew has said. His mother also fed him belief. In 1977, she entered him in Little Mr. Texas in Bandera and hung the winner photo in the kitchen. Even when he later learned the title wasn't official, the ritual worked. The picture trained him to walk like a champion long before he became one. Discipline stung. 2. Swear and you paid for it. Show up with a fake tattoo at Tantar, get flogged. Complain about old sneakers and you'd hear, "Keep griping and I'll take you to meet the boy with no feet." The lessons were blunt, but they built backbone. Acne hit hard in high school, made worse by a cream meant for middle-aged women that left him swollen for a year, yet he ended up most handsome in the yearbook. He learned to play hot, 2 straight seasons of red cards as a fiery goalkeeper, but also to respect order, never hate, never lie, never say I can't. At 18, he chased an exchange-year fantasy, sun, surf, freedom, and landed instead in Warner Vale, a small, rule-bound town with a strict host family named Dooley. No beach, no buddies, and meals of wilted lettuce with ketchup, when money ran thin. He ran 6 miles nightly just to feel alive, wrote 15-page letters by lamplight, and grabbed any work he could find. Teller at the Australia and New Zealand Bank, no pay. Barrister's assistant. Boat mechanic, construction, assistant golf pro. When the rules finally choked him, he snapped, punched a door, packed his bag, and walked out. He came home to Texas leaner, quieter, tougher. Back at the University of Texas at Austin, he chose pre-law because it sounded practical, but the courtroom never felt like home. He was filling journals with characters and scenes. A film school friend nudged him toward what he already knew. He belonged on a set. He expected his dad to explode. Instead, Jim gave him the compass he still uses. Don't half-ass it. To pay the rent, he waited tables at Catfish Station through cigarette haze, modeled hands for ads, and skipped classes for auditions that led nowhere. Then, in 1993, at a bar, he met casting director Don Phillips and landed a few scenes in Richard Linklater's Dazed and Confused. Improvising, he found Wooderson's lazy, cool rhythm and uttered the line that never died. All right, all right, all right. 5 days into filming, the call came. Jim had died of a heart attack. Matthew flew home hollowed out. When he returned to set, he carried a vow. Every role would be played as if his father were watching. A Time to Kill, 1996, rocketed him onto magazine covers and into the next big thing spotlight. More serious work followed. Contact, Amistad, EDTV, then a gold-plated pigeonhole, romantic comedies. The Wedding Planner, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, failure to launch, kept him employed and beloved, but he felt boxed in. At 36, he did the risky thing. He stopped. For nearly 2 years, he said no to everything. The phone went quiet. People whispered he was done. He waited. The second act arrived with The Lincoln Lawyer, 2011, then Mud and Magic Mike, 2012. In 2013, he took a leap that changed his legacy, Dallas Buyers Club. To become Ron Woodruff, he measured food like medicine, tracked his shrinking weight daily, and shed 47 levy. He hid from family so his kids wouldn't see the ghost he was becoming, immersed himself in Ron's isolation, and let Matthew disappear until only the character remained. The 2014 Oscar wasn't just a trophy. It was confirmation that he'd set himself on fire for the truth. The same year, he delivered 2 career peaks: Rust Cohle in True Detective, Philosopher, Cop and Walking Wound, and Joseph Cooper in Interstellar, a father staring down the cosmos and time itself. At 44, he ruled both TV and film. Then the air thinned. From 2015 to 2019, he weathered a string of punishing results. The Sea of Trees was booed at Cannes. Its $27 million budget barely came back. Gold cost $20 million and returned $14 million worldwide. White Boy Rick, near $30 million to make, grossed $25 million. The Beach Bum landed under $5 million domestically on a $20 million spend. Empty theaters sting. He asked himself the only question that matters: did I lose them, or did I lose me? He didn't stay down. In 2020, Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman reminded audiences how effortlessly charismatic he is. That same year, he published Greenlights, a part memoir, part playbook that turned scars into signals. It hit the top of the New York Times list. He returned to the University of Texas as a professor of practice in radio-television film. The student who once doubted himself now mentoring a new wave. In 2024, the rivals of Amzia King drew praise at SXSW. In 2025, he steps into The Lost Bus, a survival story rooted in real tragedy. The camera saw romance, and so did life. At 27, on A Time to Kill, 1996, he and Sandra Bullock fell for each other. 2 years of headlines and genuine care. It ended without bitterness. The affection outlived the romance. Shorter chapters followed: Quiet Sparks with Ashley Judd, a brief fascination with Janet Jackson that schedules smothered. Then came 2005 and Sahara with Penelope Cruz, dazzling chemistry. Love stretched across continents undone by time zones rather than betrayal. By 2006, they let go, a goodbye that left a mark he rarely spoke about. Later that same year, everything changed. He met Camila Alves in a smoky Los Angeles bar and didn't forget the impression, even if the name blurred by morning. They set a rule, no more than 9 days apart, and lived it. By June 2012, they married in a Catholic ceremony at home in Austin, already parents to Levi, 2008, Vida, 2010, and Livingston, 2012. When Malibu became a fishbowl, they packed up and moved to Texas for space to be a family. In 2022, after Camilla's frightening staircase fall and a neck brace, he cooked, propped pillows, and kept vigil. "He never left my side," she said. That's love that shows up. Adventure left signatures. A jet ski crash split his forehead. Doctors pulled needle and thread 78 times. A fall from a tree knocked the breath and color out of a day. In 2023, a swarm of bees turned his face into a balloon. He posted the picture himself with 2 words: "Be swell." The point wasn't bravado. It was a reminder that even small stings can humble a strong man, and that humor helps. He wears his mileage openly now. The lines on his face are a map, not a warning. He runs Austin Hills at dawn, still chases waves when the legs complain, and starts the day with breath and gratitude. "I am still here." These scars, he says, they're green lights. At 55, estimates put his net worth near $160 million. He's not a marble and chandeliers guy. In Texas, he built Long Branch Ranch, mornings barefoot in the grass, yoga and meditation, and fireside storytelling with his Long Branch bourbon passed around like a ritual. Guests get private cocktails under mesquite skies, glow-in-the-dark fishing on the Pedernales, hikes guided by voice notes that talk as much about meaning as mileage. Luxury isn't in marble, he likes to say. It's in mesquite smoke and the story you tell by the fire. He also added a second sanctuary, a $785 million Hawaiian estate near Kukio. Kapulehu and Hualalai, 2 master suites that open to lanais with outdoor showers, a 66-foot infinity pool pouring into the Pacific, twin fire pits, indoor-outdoor kitchens, a wine cellar, media room, and bocce court behind guarded gates with 5-star neighbors. The real luxury there? Families splashing in the pool and the quiet at sunrise. His garage reads like a diary, a 1971 Corvette Stingray convertible for American romance, a Lincoln MKX to match the meditative ads, a Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Tahoe, GMC Yukon XL, and Ford Bronco for road trips where the kids fall asleep in the back. He invests in people and place. JKL Productions, co-ownership of Austin FC, long partnerships with Lincoln, Salesforce, and Wild Turkey. His favorite investment, though, is the one that multiplies futures. In 2008, he and Camila launched the Just Keep Livin' Foundation. What began as a mantra in the wake of his father's death became a blueprint for teens: fitness, nutrition, mindfulness, and service. Today, it reaches 40 programs in 26 U.S. states, serving more than 3,000 students a year and touching over 20,000 since it began. It has raised over $20 million, and 90% of participants improve attendance and health habits. We don't just raise money, he says. We raise spirits. We raise futures. He brought that same ethos back to the University of Texas, first as a visiting instructor in 2015, then in 2019 as professor of practice. I tell them stories, not rules, he says. Life doesn't hand you scripts. It hands you improv.